There's the 8-ball moving immediately, but other than that, a fairly tepid cut break. And it's going to be first opportunity going the way of Traynor and Woan.
Soft explosion, but actually a nice even layout. You know, looking at the way these have sat, you know, yellows don't look too bad at all. Oh, and you've got the one to the bottom corner as well, which helps. I thought you might have to go up the table first. That's a little bit short. All players have had a chance on the table, had sort of 15, 20 minutes out there warming up. Players arrive sometime around 3 onwards. So they've all had their table time. So, you know, you should get the feel and be ready for it. But that almost just a little bit on the tentative side. And that's just going to compromise position on this shot. No damage done. That's worked well. Now pick your route. Now you're where you want to be. Trying to find the pattern from here. The one by the cue ball is the one that's most awkward. Yeah, I actually like the way they're going here. I assume they're going to... They get straight in on one to right centre, the highest one. Drop it in, and you got... If you can get straight, maybe the reds are in the way. That would hold on the yellow to top left. Maybe that's not the way. Maybe they'd have too much angle. Let's see. Depends. If they drop this in dead weight, are they straight on the one to bottom left? If not, they need to do some work. And I think it looks like the reds would be in the way. So work required. Come down for this one. Good angle. Play this one in the middle. And then they've got the other one left just to come across the angle of the table. All worked out very nicely, this. Using the reds there, if he doesn't use the reds and rolls it in, I think he had just enough angle that he would have slid behind those reds. So whilst I think it would have been nicer to have a turn or two more angle, he had to use the reds to hold the cue ball and actually be able to see this ball.
Oh, I think they're just okay. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, might be like 𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying before about it would have been nice to have that extra turn, because then you're just sort of floating it in and you're playing a much better area rather than punching it in where it's just slightly harder to control. It would have been better to err on the side of being short, because you're always, you know, middle of the table, you've got a shot on the 8 ball. Go too far, you've got no shot.
Cue ball is smaller than the object ball. I do just wonder, does Josh think he doesn't need to bend this?
Well, the overhead's telling me this is on. The main camera is telling me you've got to bend it a lot. Bent it too much. All that hard work and you leave absolute drop-ins. The only ball that's near a cushion, you've got the perfect ball to access it straight away, and this should be routine and a really nice way to float into this match for these two. There's no issues here.
Yeah, I mentioned Dave was in fine form in the Kent's team shootout earlier on this year. It was, in fact, only about 3 or 4 weeks ago. In fact, both of David O'Shaughnessy and Josh Traynor heavily involved in it. Lancashire senior and junior. It was Josh's final year with the juniors. Was their captain. Dave was playing for Lancashire B, which was their official name. They were essentially the senior side, not a single player under the age of 50, and they ran all the way to the final. It was a fabulous performance from them.
Well, chose to move that one out. I thought they were straight enough on the one to left centre just to drop it in dead weight and hold and play it down the cushion, but they've chosen to go a different way round and executed it well enough.
feel like they're doing quite a bit of mileage in these final few shots. But all routine enough for a simple 8-ball. And that's sort of what you get from Kris Hampson, Dave O'Shaughnessy. Plenty thrown into that break, and no friends. So first opportunity will go to his opponent. Really spears that break. Didn't get his cue ball perfect, but certainly got enough through the pack to maybe not expect to make a ball, but didn't even really look like much went close there. Dave O'Shaughnessy gets first go.
Interesting decision this from the left-hand side of the table. Kris Hampson being the only ultimate pool professional of the four. You'd think he would take lead in this partnership and play out as the first singles, but he's let Dave go out there. When you're on the left-hand side of the arena, you play an order twice. So if it went to frame 5, it would be Dave to play, not Kris. Could be a factor. And actually the same on the other side of the arena as the under-23 world champion and plugging away in the tier 1 of the challenges. I thought Josh might play player 2 so that he gets the kind of 3 frames on the bounce kind of run, playing frame 3, then the Scotch frame 5. So interesting decisions both ways around. Not a great angle if he wants to play yellow off red. The red's quite high, but I think the shot's just about on. Opens up the other yellow, but it's not a good angle for the cue ball by the looks of things. Yeah, because he's not on the next ball unless that red has just gone far enough to leave him right centre. It may have done, you know. But it has blocked off bottom left, so frustration.
Does that yellow directly above him go anywhere else? It may do after this double. It's a very well judged shot. Excellent recovery.
Now, if the 8-ball's tied up, this may be an opportunity to play a glancing shot on the 8-ball. The problem with that, you could put the red in between the yellows. If you choose to play that shot, you're going to have to really judge where the contact on the 8-ball is and where the red's going, where the cue ball's going. Yeah, it's just getting a little ragged, isn't it?
I think that's safe to say. Lots of moving parts with that shot. And Josh Traynor is in a little bit of trouble here.
Not sure he's got much more than a very thin clip. Maybe playing it off the red into the centre. I don't see what else you've got. Can you see the one down the table? I don't think so. So in the end, it's just a safety. And that a bit of a nothing shot, really.
Yeah, not a particularly good one.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he was hoping to achieve with that one. Maybe just trying to get the red into the yellows and play the loss of turn with the white and got it wrong, and trying to leave a challenging shot. But in the end, he's just handed over a really just routine layout here. Oh my, oh dear.
Well, it's extraordinary. I mean, that is such a massive error from Dave O'Shaughnessy. Just did not see that coming.
I mean, you could have put the cue ball anywhere on the table. I mean, fine there. Anywhere but as long as it's on the table. That was just incredible. Giving away the frame. That was, what an opportunity for 2-0. I mean, it's slightly awkward because the yellow's in the way, so why not just roll it through? Roll it through, take the red into the opposite centre. It was awkward enough to play that shot because of the... I mean, I guess if the cue ball pulls up 2 or 3 rolls short of where it is, we're talking about a beautiful positional shot on someone at the top of the table and it being easy, but obviously went horribly wrong.
Yeah, what a let-off for Josh Traynor, who gets the victory in the frame, 1 each. Kris Hampson looking to dig his buddy out of trouble. 8-ball on the move, cue ball on the move. Once again, that cue ball spins slowly into that top right corner bag. I mean, it's opportunity for Woan and Traynor.
Quite like the reds here. Yeah. There's only one bad red on the table. You've got a couple of good ways of getting into it. I'll be aiming to try and get their second shot. So doesn't want to be straight in on this one to the left, bottom left. He would love... red might be close enough to the cushion to be able to punch into the yellow and red together. He was. 𝗡𝗶𝗴𝗵's just come across the table, though. A little awkward. He was hoping to keep the cue ball on the left-hand side. He would have been on the one to left centre, or he was expecting a choice to bottom right. Now he's got a really awkward plant, or a drop into right centre where the cue ball's going nowhere.
Tough. That was really tough.
Without getting down on the shot, it's difficult to say whether the one to right centre would have been a better option, because I think you were catching the top side of the yellow and the cue ball was going up the table. May not have left yourself a shot there, but much more makeable shot than the one he took on. Very difficult. I like that choice from Kris. Get up for that one that's most awkward, high up the table, straight away. And as long as he's got a turn of angle here, he can just get himself back in line. Oh, he missed it on the straight side. Actually had plenty of angle.
Well, this match is one where you're almost making no guarantees at any point when a player's at the table. One of those matches that we can often see in the pairs where you've got to cling on. Just hope that it's you who comes out in front at the end of the ride. The fact that Kris left nothing else other than a pretty awkward plant is fortunate. How's your leave?
Lucky to keep the cue ball on the table. Left the thin clip into left centre where the cue ball is going to track towards the bottom right area of the table. Now, it looks from our camera angles like the red actually on the bottom cushion's in play here, but if he can just avoid that, he might be able to kick the other one into play. In fact, he was wider than I thought, and he's actually a little bit... Well, he's very unlucky to go in off. He's actually very unlucky not to get the red in over the pocket, which would have just opened the whole frame up. Kris will feel a little bit hard done by there, because even if you don't scratch and you keep the cue ball on the table, you've made a good pot. You can have an opportunity to affect the frame. You could probably look for a loss of turn shot to maybe take control, or another way of playing a combination. So very unfortunate to go in off there for me.
It's crazy unlucky, really. And to pick out the line, pretty tough to hit nothing at the bottom end of the table. But to also go in off on that line is really tough.
It had to be very close to shaving a coat of paint off that red. It was so close to it. Any clip on the red and he clears up.
That's come out nicely for Richard. The pace of the table just maybe catching Richard out of touch here, but he's in good shape. Oh, got that one all wrong. What to be up on the near side of that red to...
Yeah, I mean, he's got that so wrong. I actually can't tell you what pocket he was playing for that red in. He didn't. The easiest ball to play on the pocket was the top left, but that was going to leave you a slightly awkward angle onto the 8 ball. So then it's a case of which way were you playing it, and he's got it horribly wrong.
One of those matches where all bets are off. 3 minutes 50, 1 frame each, no guarantees.
Yeah, if this was a Pro Series match, we'd be talking about how routine this should be to mop these up. But the way this match has gone, and Kris has been part of that, he kind of you kind of, what's the next twist going to be? There is plenty of room for the 8-ball. It is guarded, obviously. The red's closer than you'd like, but it really shouldn't be any issue. Especially, you play these at natural lines. There you go. You drop in, drop in, drop in. You're going to be on the 8-ball. Maybe got a little bit too far for the left centre. He might be running away from his work, so it's going to go right centre. But it's still dropping into the perfect area.
Yeah, it's definitely the Pro Series, that's for sure. Definitely some nerves about. On a Monday night, often doesn't really matter how you get there, just that you do. And Kris Hampson and Dave O'Shaughnessy go 2-1 in front. It's an excellent break. You can't really do too much more with that. And dry it goes, obviously.
And look at that layout as well. You'd have been over the moon with that. You really would have been.
It won't be reds.
No, it won't be reds. Just looking at it, thinking about the yellow to left centre, you have to take it first, just because that's your hardest ball and you're on it now. And yeah, what was going to happen? Where was the yellow going to squeeze to? Where was the cue ball going to squeeze to? But that's worked out okay.
Yeah, this is lovely. This should be the match really for Dave and Kris here.
Depends how much angle they had on the other yellow to centre pocket. I would have, in an ideal, would have wanted that ball they've just played to be your connection to the one up the table, because then it becomes a natural roll it up and then your last ball for the 8-ball. But there might have been too thin on the one to right set, the other one to right centre, which is why they had to go this way around.
Yeah, Dave is a naturally very quick player. We spoke about that in the interview. But it may do them a little bit of service here, just to slow the pace down a little bit.
I agree. We haven't heard the beeps much here, and there could be 40 seconds left here instead of being over a minute. And if they've landed, oh, they're okay. They're okay. They've got enough angle just to do what they want here, so that it's working out for them. The clock shouldn't hurt them.
Yeah, they've gone on the offensive and have gone with the angle of, well, we're going to take this out, so actually the clock is irrelevant.
Oh, Kris would have liked a little bit more up the table there.
Yeah,
Dave's left him short. If he plays this natural pace, he could run too far. Do you screw into the red and risk a problem?
Try to kill it in.
Yeah.
He's played that very, very well indeed.
Yeah.
30 seconds left. Kris and Dave share a fist bump and ultimately are going to take the spoils of this, their first match of the night.
So whoever was going to lose this match will feel they've let one go. And I think,
looking at Josh Traynor's face, that's exactly what it looks like.
Oh, nearly got the golden break, you know. Just the wrong way around. It would have been the golden duck they were looking for, although Dave would have been happy.
Yeah, he is happy as Larry. He's not going to get these out in 14 seconds. This match is done. Dave O'Shaughnessy and Kris Hampson get the win against Josh Traynor and Richard Woan, who are going to have to come from behind in the night. They've got the wins coming up in their match next to try and salvage something from group number 9, but it's a winning start for Kris the Cannon Hampson and Dave O'Shaughnessy.